Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Brilliance, where we speak to some amazing women. We discuss their stories, their struggles, and their successes, and how they're inspiring other brown women on their journeys. Today we will be speaking to Dr. Parvinder Shergill, who's a doctor, a published writer, an actress, and an award-winning filmmaker, and that's just to name a few. So let's get her on. Hi Parvinder, and welcome to our Brown Brilliance podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's really nice to finally catch up with you and be able to have this discussion. I've been looking forward to it for quite some time.
Oh no, you've been a
Um,
big part of my film journey at the moment. So,
oh, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me how you got to where you are and what you're doing at the moment.
um, yeah, I always really struggle to talk about that. So I have basically two careers, I guess. One, I'm a doctor in the NHS full time in mental health. I've been a doctor for 11 years, I want to say. And the other side is I'm a creative. So I went to acting school. I own a film production company. I focus on majority like Sikh or South Asian films or diverse films of Black and Asians, mental health, women, podcasting. I don't know, anything and everything. I've had a radio show. I'm a writer, director, producer, actor, gosh, anything really creative. So I kind of am doing both at the moment. I don't know how long for realistically, but while I
Right.
still can. And yeah, so I'm kind of now taking my film work much more seriously, and trying to debut a bit more into Hollywood as a brown creative. And then I don't know with the doctor side, well, I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Wow, that's really impressive. Such a long list
I mean, it must
of
show
stuff
I'm
that you've
a
achieved.
complete loser, or I have no life. Maybe I don't
I can imagine. Yeah.
know.
Um, So I suppose the first thing I would really like to ask you is what inspired you particularly to film the Kaur film? Um, and I suppose how has your identity as a brown woman influenced that as a Sikh woman?
Yeah, such a good question. So I've always wanted to be an actor since I was like three. So I've always loved
Oh.
film. Yeah. And but as we know, like there are no opportunities really for women of brown women, but especially Sikh women. Like it's
Hmm.
very narrowed. And so it's quite sad as well because you kind of grow up thinking as a little girl, I'm never going to be able to do what I want to do in life because I'm never going to get a job. Um, so that's kind of also why I went to academia to kind of support myself, and that's a whole nother story. But then,
Hmm.
yeah, so I went to acting school a couple of years ago, and I was really disheartened because I was like, wow, nothing has changed since I was 3 years old. Like nothing has changed. There's been one film that we all know for a brown Sikh girl. There's been nothing since.
Hmm.
There's really not much out there. I mean, it's starting to change a little bit, but it's still rare to have a female brown woman, especially Sikh.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing
Oh,
there.
definitely.
So I was really upset about it, and I thought, oh my god, like nothing has changed. So I'm gonna have to make the change. Like instead of complaining about it, let me do something about it. So I was like, right, let me start writing. And obviously, no one wants to direct a Sikh girl's work. You know, why would they? And so I found a lot of sort of opposition. So I thought, okay, I'll just direct stuff, I'll produce it, I'll make it myself. So I started on that journey for
Wow.
a couple of years. But it was when it was 3 years ago I got the idea for Core, and it was when I came out of acting school because Core is so symbolic. I'm Parvinder Kaur Shergill. That's our name. That's my identity.
Hmm.
My dad is Singh, etc. Like we know what that means. Yet so many people outside of the community have never heard Core. Like they've heard of
Mm.
Mr. Singh, Mr. This person. I was like, what about Miss Core? What about me? Um, and I was so shocked no one had heard of it. And I was watching a Marvel film because I'm a huge superhero like nerd. And sometimes you watch these really big blockbuster films and you see like a turban man in the background, and
Yeah.
I was like, and the thought suddenly occurred to me. I was like, hang on, why is Mr. Singh not in the lead role? And hang on, where is Miss
Mm.
Paul? And the idea,
Yeah.
as soon as I said that in my head, straight away, the poster for Core came in my head straight away. And I was like, this
Hmm.
film needs to be made. But it took me a while to make it because it's not just a film, like, and I keep saying this, it's a movement. It's also
Hmm.
the voice for the whole community. It's not just my voice, because you're
Yeah.
representing all of us. And there's a huge responsibility with that. And
Yeah, of
it
course.
was something that I couldn't be selfish about, because I was like, if I'm going to do this, and I felt like it had to be done because it still has not been done. There's so many of our stories, and it's so simple. Like the whole, if you just look at Kaur, it's so simple. It's just explaining what does Kaur mean and what does the turban bug the star mean. Yet we've
Hmm.
never seen that in film ever, in Hollywood or Bollywood. So I was like, right, if I'm going to do it, I need to do this properly. And I wanted to make it a huge Hollywood feature, and I am determined to do that, and I'm on that journey now. But before I do that, let me do a short version of it, and also let me open the doors and invite as many Sikh women as I can on the film, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make work for us. So we
Yeah.
had like yourself, your business was part of it. We had 75 South Asian women, majority Sikh women, part of the
Wow.
film. I'm really proud of that, because that's never
Yeah.
happened in any film ever.
No, I
And
can
it's a
imagine.
small film, you know what I mean? It's a baby. And yeah, so that process, I wrote the film with my friend Juggy Sohal, because I felt like I needed support and I needed people to help bring this to life, because it is a responsibility. And I wanted that balance. I didn't want it, I also wanted Sings to watch it as well. So it was a really nice balance between a man and a woman making the film. So we wrote it two
Yeah.
years ago, and then we shot it last year with Nina Wadia, and she was so cool. And then yeah, so we had like the private premiere. I think it was in October, and then since then, I've been so overwhelmed, and it's really emotional. We've had like over 40 BBC Press interviews, ITV, Channel 4, like, and what we're hearing from the community is, why has this never happened before? Like, why has no one made this? And thank you so much. And thank you. What I'm really hearing, especially from the women, is thank you for saying our voice, because our voice is not heard. And that is the whole point. I wanted to make the film, actually. It was for us. And no one's ever given us that light and kind of that platform. So, yeah, the journey's been a bit, I don't know. I'm still quite overwhelmed by it, and it's very emotional because I put myself in the role. Because as I said, it's all about identity. Like my mum,
Hmm.
the character of Nina is based on my mum. The dad's name is named my dad. We put Juggy and I put all our family in the film. We had a lot of friends in it because we wanted again have people we loved in the film, and we had a lot of like different people in the film. Like we extended it, so we have like Harpreet Kaur, the Apprentice winner, was in it.
Hmm.
We have the Indian body coach and his family was in it. We had Dylan Chima, the boxer. Like we really extended the invitation as much as we could. Considering it was only a 3 day short like shoot, it was just mad. Like the amount of people, like it was just like but yeah, I'm really proud of it. We haven't released it yet. We're kind of waiting for the right platform, because I want it to have the honor of a great platform, because it deserves it.
Yeah.
We deserve
Hmm.
it. And I am parallel making it into a Hollywood feature. But coming to identity, yeah, I find it really difficult to talk about, because I feel like it's my heart, it's my soul, and that's why I get so emotional, because it isn't, again, it is not a film, it is our lives. Like this is all of us.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, it's an odd journey, but it's going to be another few years. I'm part of it, so let's see. Really, yeah.
I mean, that just all sounds so wonderful and it resonates so deeply with me as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the premiere. I had my son at the time,
No.
and it just all happened to come together at the same time. So I was like, I'll have to see it another time. Um, but I've heard what the storyline is, and I was really quite surprised, because that is literally what happened on my journey. When I initially wanted to start wearing a gay at the start, my dad was completely against it. He was supportive in the sense that if you feel like this is what you need to do, then fine, but it's not something that I would want for you. And that's very strange, considering he wears one, and he's fully supportive of Sikh and the Sikh religion and everything.
Mm.
So it took us quite a lot of kind of talking and understanding each other to get to a point where we were both comfortable with that. And now, obviously, you wouldn't consider there was a different way. And I had actually completely forgotten that that happened in my life until I heard the storyline. And I thought, oh, yeah, oh my goodness, that happened with me.
Yeah.
So it was really quite interesting to hear that storyline.
Thank you for
Um,
sharing that.
but
Do you
just
know,
going back to,
sorry to
sorry,
interrupt,
again.
because do you know, it's funny you say that, the amount of women that have said that. And that's another reason I wanted to bring that whole storyline in, is because it is so complex. Because there is, and I'm
Yeah.
saying it superficially, but there is one rule for men and one for women. And that was why I wanted to
Exactly.
bring it in. And that still happens to this day, like that conversation. That's why I wanted to have that as well, because I still feel in our community, and I love our community, but again,
Mm.
there's a standard that we have to set that isn't there for men. And I find that really
Mm.
unfair. And the whole point of that was actually to open that conversation as well, because yes, anyway, I'm really glad you said that, because that's the reason I made it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that was definitely a point. And I mean, it was things like this. Sometimes you don't even realize that they're missing, until they're there, and then you do realize that where has this been all along? Where is the representation? Why is
Mm,
there no core in any
mm,
film, even in the background, let alone in the forefront?
mm.
But yes, I think you're doing an absolutely brilliant job with that. But just going back to identity, was there a pivotal moment in your life where you chose to embrace it, or it became more of a prominent thing, and maybe even a source of strength? Or is it just something that you've always felt really passionate about?
Um, I've always felt a bit lost. I've always felt like I'm not Sikh enough and I'm not British enough. I always say that. I used to feel that so much. And it's really funny since I've made Kaur. It's really made me embrace that. Like, yeah, fine. Some people in the community might not think I'm Sikh enough, but then what even is that? Because I'm still Sikh. I deserve to be
Yeah.
alive,
Of
right? And
course.
also, then on the other side, I'm not British enough, but hey, I'm born here, so are my parents. So I kind of accepted that actually I'm from this world, whatever this world is, and I am who I am, and I
And that
deserve
is
to be.
enough.
And that is
Yeah.
enough, yeah. And also, so many of us are also like that. It doesn't matter what community you're in, we're all enough. Like, we can't also let people define us in the community and outside, wherever you're from. And I've really started to embrace who I am the last year, actually, and actually be proud of who I am, because people, even as a doctor, like I had a lot of like heat as a doctor working in the pandemic, but it's like, this is my life and you're not there to judge it. I'm doing the best I
Hmm.
can. And
Yeah.
nobody has a right to ever say anything. And I think, to be honest, I'm so proud. And it's taken me a long time to say that. There have been moments when I've been ashamed of certain aspects of my life. And now I'm really proud of who I am. And it is hard. And I think it is. And I say it, it is much harder for us. It's harder to be a woman of color, but especially a Sikh woman, because of that lack of awareness and what our needs are and who we're about. Um, but I think I found strength in it now, and the fact that that inclusivity still needs to be there, and the awareness of our identity. Like, I have so many plans for our community and our films. Like, I'm so excited about it. I can't wait. Like, the ideas I have.
That's exciting. Yeah.
It's so exciting, and what's exciting is I want to put us on the map, the women, and I want to showcase our strength, because I think we're so beautiful. I think we're incredible, and we're so resilient, and we're so passionate, and we are we're warrior princesses. Yeah,
Of
we're
course.
not.
Yeah.
No one knows about us. So yeah, I'm embracing it now, and I for the first time I feel like I might be flawed, I might not be perfect for other people, but I'm me, and that's enough.
That is enough, and that is right. That's exactly right. Um, so it's like, I suppose, maybe controversial question in
Mm,
everything that you're doing.
yeah.
So in trying to get this film onto a platform like Hollywood, how do you kind of feel confident in your authenticity, let's
Mm,
say your cultural identity, and maintaining that, and not
mm,
kind of almost like whitewashing it to try fit in, or try
mm,
making it more pleasing to the
mm.
more white cultured Hollywood?
Yeah. So anything I write with what I know. So I wasn't brought up on Bollywood. I was brought up on Hollywood films. So my parents were born here. I'm born here. So like I said,
Hmm.
I've had a very, I don't know how you want to describe it. It's my upbringing. I've had a Sikh upbringing. Like, I've got half my family, they wear the tastard. My dad wears it. My grandma wears it. My cousins who are women wear it. And then the other side don't. So I've been brought up in both these worlds. So anything I write,
Yeah.
it's what I know. So I'm not writing it for anyone. I'm not specifically writing it for Hollywood. I'm not specifically writing it for my grandma. I'm writing for me. And I put myself in every aspect I write. Um, And so when people watch my films, what they have said, what I've heard from Kaur anyway, is wow, it's quite mainstream commercial actually the way you've done it, but you've also put the education side in it. And I go, well, yeah, because that's me. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's
like,
nice.
so I don't think I'm selling out or anything because I'm staying true to what I know, and that is what I know. So I feel with Core making it for Hollywood, I feel like it's the perfect fit because it's representing the community in some way. I'm not saying it represents all the community. Nothing can ever do that. Like no person could ever do that, you know. But it
Hmm.
also, the films that I watch are Hollywood, so it has a Hollywood like vision of it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I see what you mean.
So yeah, so I don't know, I never write anything that isn't true to me, so that is my vision. I'm very mainstream in a way, but I have my twist, if you want to call it a twist, of the authenticity of my culture, if you want to put it like that. So yeah, that's my work.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I can see how if it's authentically who you are, it's not a difficult thing to do. It just comes
Mm.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think people have a different idea of authentic for each person. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And well, I mean, that's fine. But the whole point of film, anyway, at the end of the day, is even though I'm putting myself in it, it's really for people just to kind of, the whole point of my films, I just want to start the conversation. I don't like watching a film and not feeling or thinking anything. And all I want is to stir up the conversation. And this film's definitely done it because the questions are being asked now, like, why are we not given these lead roles, cast and crew?
yeah, for
And I
sure.
want to say that
Hmm.
quite clearly. It's not just what you see, it's what's behind the camera. That's really important. But also, where are the women? And we've had so many of these conversations. Um, and if, like, I always say to people, and it's a hypothetical question, apart from that one film, can people think of any other film with a Sikh lead role? I can't. I really, really can't, right? But a
No, I
woman as
can't.
well. So the whole point I'm trying to do is just stir that conversation, and that is my authenticity. I'm British and I'm Sikh and I'm proud of
Hmm.
it. And if you don't agree with it, that's fine, but give us opportunity regardless, you know?
Yeah, of course. Everyone deserves that chance and opportunity, as you say, don't they?
Mm,
So you mentioned the cast,
mm,
and I understand that obviously you're working with Nina Wadia.
mm.
Were there any other kind of role models or inspiration in the brand community that have, kind of helped you towards this point? And have you learned any specific lessons from them that you'd like to share or pass on?
So I find that question really sad because I don't know anyone else, and that's a two-way thing. One is, again, as we said, there's not enough of us for me to even look up to,
Hmm.
one, distantly. But in my life, I don't even know anyone apart from Nina as a brown woman actually know. And I'm trying to change that now. Which is really sad, isn't it? Like it's actually
It
really, really
is, yeah, it is.
like really saddening. And I wish I could give you a whole list of people, but I can't. And hopefully in like 5, 10 years I can give you a whole, range. But a woman I really admire, and but she's not from our community, is what Shonda Rhimes is doing in Shondaland. Like she's created
Hmm.
the most incredible work, and what is so beautiful, she always has like a lead female, and she puts people of color like on her
Yeah.
screen, and it's stunning. Like I just think, how long has this taken? And so she's a huge role model for me because she just is breaking down all these barriers, and the amount of careers she's given women is incredible. Like she's really, really doing it for everyone. But yeah, it's really because there aren't any women out there, all the opportunities not there. So I'm really hoping in the next couple of years that changes so I can give you another answer.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I asked this question because it is so rare for anyone I'm interviewing to say actually this person because
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, it seems like our generation are really the first to kind of delve into this and try to uplift our women and
Mm,
give them a platform in
mm,
which they can speak about everything they've achieved and the
yeah.
hopes that they have.
Yeah.
Um, so again, I think it's a brilliant job. I think you're doing something really amazing for our community
Oh,
and
thank you. I
even
think
wider, really.
just like adding to what you're saying, I think you just hit a note that I really agree with is I just find we now are starting to support each other, and I really, because I'm an observer, because I watch film, I observe people, and as a psychiatrist I watch people, and sometimes I really find, which isn't such a problem, is the community, as incredible as our community is, but all South Asian, and I think any community is very critical of each other, you know, especially
That's true. It
women.
is.
And that's a real pet peeve of mine, because I feel like I'm a big collaborator and I have a great support of women around me. And we lift each other. And I find that confusing why other people don't, because I truly, truly believe, and I'm very positive about it, we are stronger with our voices together. You know, we can take over the world if we want to. And if we lift each other,
Hmm.
it really doesn't hinder you. And actually, helping another amazing woman out is such a beautiful thing. Like, you know, what we're doing here, like we're boosting each other. I think that's a gift. Like, why would you not do that? And even with Core, that's why we open the doors to so many amazing women, because look what something so beautiful we've made together, and we share that together. And I just think, why would you not want that sort of family? So yeah, I think it's great. I think women, we need to be supporting each other, because life is so hard anyway. Like, why make it harder? Like,
That
let's
is so true. Yeah, we don't. Nobody needs to make it any harder.
exactly.
Yeah, it's true. I suppose previous generations have maybe come from places of trauma where they have a kind of scarcity mindset. So it's either you or me. It can't
Mm,
be, there's this abundance where we can help each other and we can all grow together. And I think
yeah.
that's something that this generation I've seen a lot in, and it's really nice. And it's
Mm,
it's it's going to help, obviously, further things for everyone.
mm,
So, changing the topic slightly, I know that you are a kind of really big thinker, out of the box. Want to think big, basically.
mm.
Um, and I want to ask you, for brown women and this film Core, what impact did you hope that it has on the world? Not just in terms of
Yeah.
brown people, not just as Sikh women, but generally worldwide. What do you hope this has as an impact on the industry, and what kind of steps are you taking, do you think, to make that happen in the
Oh,
background?
I love that question. I have huge plans for Core. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I can't even express. Like, I'm saying this is the history. Like, I get so excited about it because I feel like this is going to be a ripple effect, and in every industry. So it doesn't matter if you're creative. I really hope, because the thing is with film medium, it is so powerful because you don't know who's watching it, right? And you have easy access
Hmm.
to it, you on your phone, at home. I've been in Peru before in a jungle, and there's a TV there randomly. You don't know who it is, like. And the thing is, people absorb it so passively, what they see. And even the poster, the reason I made it like that is because it's so effective, and it's so simple.
Hmm.
So like, I have huge plans. Like, I want to see rock stars with the dastard. I want to see women on skateboards with the dastard. I want to see fashion models of cores and sings. Like, I want to see so much. I want the president next, the prime minister. I want every single industry CEO the same opportunity, and I want it to be a core. I want it to be a thing. Um, and so I have huge plans for this. Like, and even with my future film projects, like I want to. I obviously can't talk about it, but there's another like project of core that I want to make. Like, I have so many other plans, not just like being a creative and other thrillers or horrors or dramas, but I have other stories I want to share of our community that we haven't seen, that we should have seen. Um,
Hmm.
I'm just hoping it be normalized. Even in the film, people are like, oh, we didn't know what a good one looked like. And I was like, how do you not know, but you know what a church looks
Yeah,
like? Like, it really
exactly.
baffles me. So I'm really hoping this film is going to cause a lot of change. I'm not saying it's a great film. I'm not saying that. But the thing is, again, no one has ever seen anything like that. But we shouldn't be saying that. It should be so like obvious, like when we watch something, like you're eating food, like we shouldn't have to double think, like, what is that, what is she wearing, are you allowed to do that, like da, da, da.
Mm-mm.
Like, the amount of people I've had, which makes me laugh, because I just think, oh my god, there's so much work to be done outside the community, that said, oh wow, women have never worn a turban, have they? And I said, are you
I
kidding
get
me?
that a lot.
I just like,
Yeah.
yeah, but what are you saying to me? Like, this is so mad. And I just think it's so bizarre to me. But anyway, I've got loads of plans for this film. It's not just a quick film. This is going to be a lifelong project. I've got like another 7 years on it. I'm hoping that, in medical school, all of my patients in there, I never saw a Sikh on there. Like, it's just, I shouldn't need to.
Really?
Yeah, never ever. Everything's whitewashed. it's very rare to see even a surgeon with a dastard. Like, it's just
Mm,
the amount
mm,
of times I've been asked to take my gudder off when I was doing surgery. When I've gone to theme parks, my cousin's asked to take his cabana off. Like, there's still so much to be done. But I'm really hoping this film
yeah,
is so simple, but we don't have to explain ourselves after. Like, we're accepted.
yeah. That would be a wonderful thing. I mean, I suppose for us, going somewhere and feeling like you totally fit in and everyone understands you and what you are and what you're doing, I can't actually even imagine what that would feel like, to be honest with you. I have
Oh, that
no
breaks my
idea.
heart, though. That breaks my heart. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's a wonderful thing to imagine and
Yeah, it's
knowing
gonna
the
happen.
potential is
No,
there.
it's gonna be a
Yeah,
reality.
exactly.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just have to all keep trying like this. Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's that is really exciting, everything that you're speaking about, and I really look forward to seeing what you come up with and what happens
No
with
pressure.
everything
No
on this.
pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, no pressure, obviously. So, as a successful brown woman, can you share with me some advice or guidance for other brown women that are trying to navigate their careers, whether it's in a whitewashed one or whether it's,
Mm,
just generally trying to feel like they fit in?
mm. Well, yeah, my biggest thing, I've said it already, is collaboration, supporting each other. I Everything I make, I collaborate. I always put people in there. I give that opportunity to others, whether it's behind the camera, but like or in front, behind students. I try to give it to the community. So I think my biggest thing is support each other. You're not alone, and I think
Hmm.
that's really important to be aware. Because the fight, I think it's really hard anyway, just to be alive, like being a brown woman anyway, is just so hard. Don't make it harder for yourself. And I think find that support system, find your community, even if it's one person. It doesn't have to be from
Hmm.
the community. Just find someone that boosts you, where you don't have to like feel like everything's a fight all the time and a challenge. So yeah, I would say collaborate and support each other. I think we're so strong. Let's be strong together.
That's wonderful. It's really, really nice. And I'd agree with that because so much comes from support and feeling like
Mm,
no one's out there to kind of get you. In fact, everyone's, lifting each other up, pushing each other. And that's something that can really help move anybody forward, really.
mm, definitely.
Um, so it's been really nice speaking to you. It's quite exciting. I keep saying that, but it is to know that, there's so much more happening in this field. To know that, seeing Sikh women, especially with turbans, is going to be normal at some point, and you can actually look forward to that being the
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
That is a really exciting thing to look forward to.
I know, me too. One day, I'm just working hard behind the scenes. It will happen. I'm very positive about this. Like, I think it will happen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you should know too. There's loads of people supporting you, and if you ever need anything or anything we can do to support you, that would be an honor, really.
Just go to the cinema when it comes out, is all I ask.
Definitely. Or rent it on Netflix, wherever it is. Not Netflix Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for doing this with me today. It's been really nice speaking to you. And we're right behind you, gunning for you all the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Likewise, likewise.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.